Hello guys and welcome back. Today, we will do this interior scene, using easy and simple method, with some lights and high quality assets. So without any further ado, let us jump into it. Start by deleting the default lamp in the scene. We will also move this cube in edit mode to make it scale from 0 level. Now we can hit N to open the side panel and change the cube dimensions, make it 2.6 on height, and around 3 meters for the length. We will keep the Y length on 2.4, so that we can extrude a part of the main wall and work on it. From the top, change the view to wireframe. We will add a cut in the middle of the cube and move it to the left by 0.7. Now with face selection, we can highlight this part from the wall and extrude it to the back by half a meter. I will also add a cut and extrude the left side from it. We did this to create a small area in the wall for the hidden light, so once I selected this face, I will extrude it a bit to give it a thickness, then we can extrude it again by a bigger amount. With this face selected, hit E to extrude it to the right and make an area for the hidden light. To set our camera position, go to front view. We will first set the view inside the room, then hit the shortcut to move the camera there. For the camera height, I usually make it around 1.2 meters above the floor, and that will give you the best shots for a direct front render. However, if you want to make the shot from corner or anywhere else, you can go for a lower height. In the camera settings, I will make the focal length on 28. And to show the ceiling, we will change the frame dimensions a bit, so copy the number if you want the same result. Now the room's still not showing much in the camera frame, so we will move the camera outside the wall, and use the camera clip value to show more from inside. To model the basin area, I will move the cursor there, and hit Shift A to add a new cube. We will change the height to 0.3, and move it around to fit the area. Use the snap-on vertices to easily fitting the cube in the needed area. In edit mode, we can select the back vertices and align them with the wall, and same for the right ones. The cube is a bit thick, so I will make it on 0.2 for the height, and move it down from the camera view. I will also hit Shift D to copy this cube and make a simple cabinet under it. We will change its height to 0.4, and use Extrude and Inset command to shape it a bit. make sure to hit Ctrl A and apply scale before using any command or modifier on any mesh. Here I pressed the I key 2 times to inset individual faces, then we can extrude them to the front area by a small amount. Now to fix those sharp edges, we can add a bevel modifier to the first cube, and fix the amount and segments value. Once we are done, we can select the cabinet, then the basin cube with the bevel modifier, and hit Ctrl L to link the bevel. With the right mouse button, we can shade smooth those cubes, and check the Auto Smooth box from the Normal tab. Now to cut the sink area, we will add a new cube here, and scale it around to fit. Hit Shift D to make a copy from this cube and hide it from the eye icon. We will use it later. Now with this one, we can move it down a bit, then with the top face, we need a small part to extrude it along normals, so you can add a simple cut on it, or like me, I just move the face down a bit, then extrude it up. Now with those faces selected, we can with the right mouse button extrude them along normal, and make sure to apply scale to get even extrusion from all sides. Now with the top face, hit S to scale it down a bit and extrude it to bottom. With the cube we hide, make it visible again, we will use it to cut the sink area with Boolean, so select the basin cube. Apply the bevel first, then add to it a cut in the middle area. This way we keep the topology clean for the next step. After that, go to modifiers to add a boolean. Take this pin icon and select the cube. Once you're done, apply the boolean and delete the last cube. Now with Ctrl L, we can copy the bevel modifier to the sink. To make a mirror on the front wall, add a mesh circle, then rotate it in the right direction. And if you start to feel the viewport is a bit too gray, we can change the look from here to make it show each object in different color. You can also keep the gray shade and make it better looking with the cavity option. Now back to our circle, we can scale it around a bit, and move it to the right, then hit Tab for edit mode and delete the left half from it. After that select the last two vertices and move them to the left as shown. Once you're done, hit A to select all, then hit F to fill the surface. Now with this face, we can use the Inset and Extrude command to shape it. Now hit Ctrl A to apply scale. then copy to it the same bevel modifier. To add some material to this mirror, I will apply the bevel first, then in the material settings, we can add 3 materials, one for the frame, one for the light, and last one for the mirror face. So once we add the first material, we can select any set of faces and assign them to a new material. Highlight those ring faces, and assign them to a new material. We can now change the surface to emission light and give it some strength. We can also change the color input to black body and control the light with temperatures. If you're new to the black body node, we did make a short tutorial explaining it, so watch it for more information. For the front face, assign it to a new material, and change the surface to glossy. With this one we just need to make the roughness on 0 to make it a mirror. Now to see how the scene looks, I will make the render engine on cycles and switch to render view. We did make an extrusion in the wall for a hidden light, so let us add it. Once we added the area lamp, we can scale it to fit the area, and direct it toward the mirror. In the light settings, hit the Use Node button, then we can assign to this light a black body to control it by the same temperature, and we will fix the strength while we experimenting with it. For the main spotlights on the ceiling, hit Shift A to add a new lamp. I did make it a point light and not a spot, so that we use an external IES file. In the light settings, hit the Use Nodes button, and with the strength, we can open it and select the IES texture. After that, choose external source to add the file we have. We did explain this kind of light in the last interior lighting tutorial, so go watch it if you need, the link's in the description down below. Once we fixed one light, we can from top view copy it around the room. To add material to this room, I will use the Blender Kit library. This one is free and has a lot of high quality assets, so once I switch it to materials, I can search from the top area for ceramic, then add it as a floor material. I will go with this one-tiled ceramic, and as we did with the mirror, we will add couple of materials to the room mesh and assign each one to the faces we need. So this first material, I will leave it for the ceiling, then we can add another one and assign the floor faces to it. Once we assign the floor to a new material, we can click and drop any of the library materials on the floor, and here it is. To control the tile scale, we can go to the Shades edit and fix the mapping scale. To select the walls and assign them to a new material, I will highlight the ceiling first, then hit Ctrl-I to invert selection, and deselect the floor faces from the material settings. Now we have the walls selected, so as before, add a new material and assign the walls to it. Once we selected a material, we can click and drag it over the area. Another way to scale textures is within edit mode. We select all faces and hit U to unwrap them, then we scale the textures to fit in the UV edit window. For the basin area, we will use a similar marble with darker color, and again scale it to fit by unwrapping the texture. And though we need this one to be dark, we can make it a bit lighter by adding a gamma node before the color input. We will also change the wall behind the mirror and give it a similar marble with different shade. This way we add some contrast to the main wall, and though it already has a UV map, we can select this face alone and scale it again to fit. For the last material, I will add first a saturation node to absorb some of the colors, and also after that, we can add a gamma node to make it brighter. Once we added those materials, the hidden light seems a bit low on power, so we need to fix it. I will also model some towel handles on this wall, using basic shapes and command. While this face is selected, we can put the cursor in the right area, and use the spin tool to rotate the cylinder. We can now select the two shapes and join them with Ctrl J, then select the external edges and hit Ctrl B to smooth the area with the bevel tool. Now to add the models, we first made a new collection, then from File, go to Append, and select the Models file. After that in the Collection folder, select all the models and hit Append. And here they are, some high-quality models. The process now is moving and placing them around the room, so we will go fast it a bit while moving them. Now once we are done with the models, we can fix the camera clip value. Now that we added the models, we can borrow some of the materials they have for both the handles and the sink. I did select those three main edges in the scene and bevel them to lose the sharpness. Now before we render the scene, I usually with close scenes like this one add support lights. Those ones don't affect the shadows or the reflections in the scene, so what I will do is add an area lamp and scale it down a bit. In the light settings, turn off the cast shadow and multiple importance, and give it a low power around 2 or 3. We also need to turn off the glossy ray from the visibility tab, so that it won't show up on the wall reflection. Once we are done with this light, we can copy it and rotate it toward the ceiling, then give this top lamp half the original strength, and copy those two lamps together around the room. To get a better look, we can experiment with the color management tab, and make it on medium-high contrast. To render this scene, I will give it around 800 samples, and the rest are just basics. We did make a tutorial explaining all the render settings, and you can find it in the channel. So that's it guys, hope you've learned something useful from this video. Comment me your thoughts down below, and hit the like button which for sure helps a lot, and as always, stay sharp, goodbye.